Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy to have you with us today.
In this episode, we're going to talk about something very important: how to speak English with confidence.
Yes, many English learners understand grammar and vocabulary, but still feel shy or nervous when it's time to speak.
And that's totally normal. We've heard this from so many learners. Even people who study English for years can feel scared to talk.
So today, we'll talk about why confidence is important, what stops people from speaking confidently, and most importantly, how to become a more confident English speaker.
We'll also share some simple tips, real-life stories, and even a little role play to show the difference between nervous and confident speaking.
That sounds fun. And remember, this podcast is for you, our dear listeners, beginner and intermediate learners who want to improve step by step.
So grab your notebook, relax, and let's get started. Because confident English starts right. All right, Julia, let's begin with the big question. Why does confidence matter so much when speaking English?
Good question, Jason. Confidence is like the engine that moves the car. You can have good grammar and vocabulary, but without confidence, you can't go far.
Exactly. I've met students who know hundreds of words, but they still don't speak in class or in real life. Why? Because they're afraid of making mistakes.
And that fear can stop progress. When you feel nervous, your mind freezes, your voice becomes quiet, and you start to think, what if I say something wrong?
But the truth is, everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers do.
Yes, and mistakes are not a problem. They're part of learning. Confidence helps you speak anyway, even when you're not perfect.
That's right. Confidence gives you the courage to try. And trying is how you grow. The more you speak, the better you become.
Let me ask you, Jason, when you learned your first foreign language, were you confident?
Oh, no way. I was shy and scared. But when I started speaking more, I felt stronger. I realized people weren't laughing at me, they were actually happy to help.
That's such a great point. People usually respect you for trying. They don't expect you to be perfect. They just want to understand you.
So, dear listeners, remember this. Confidence isn't about speaking without mistakes. It's about speaking without fear.
Beautifully said, and we're going to help you build that kind of confidence today.
All right, let's move on to the next part. The common fears and mindset challenges many English learners face. So, Julia, now that we know why confidence is important, let's talk about what actually stops people from speaking English with confidence.
Yes, Jason, one of the biggest things is fear of making mistakes. Learners often think, what if I say something wrong? Or what if people laugh at me?
Right. I've heard students say, "My English is not good enough, so I shouldn't speak yet." But waiting for perfect English only creates more fear.
Exactly. The truth is, no one speaks perfectly all the time, even native speakers. What really matters is communication, not perfection.
Another common fear is the fear of being judged. People worry that others will think they sound silly or that their accent is bad.
But having an accent is totally normal. It means you speak more than one language, and that's something to be proud of.
I love that. Another challenge is overthinking. Learners try to plan every word before they speak. That creates pressure and slows them down.
Yes, language is like a conversation, not a test. It's okay to pause, think, or even use your hands to explain something.
There's also something called negative self-talk. That's when learners say things like, "I'm not good at English," or "I'll never learn this."
That's a dangerous habit. If you keep saying those things to yourself, you start to believe them. But if you change your mindset and say, I'm learning or I'm improving every day, you feel stronger.
You're right. Language learning is not just about the mouth, it's also about the mind.
Let's repeat that for our listeners. Speaking English confidently starts with changing the way you think.
Absolutely. So if you've been feeling scared or nervous, know that you're not alone, and that fear is something you can overcome.
And we're here to help you do just that. In the next part, we'll talk about how to build a strong English foundation, the first step to feeling more confident when you speak.
Stick with us. All right, Julia, let's talk about the foundation. What does it mean to have a strong English foundation?
Good question, Jason. A strong foundation means having the basic tools to understand and express yourself. Things like simple grammar, common vocabulary, and everyday phrases.
Exactly. You don't need to know everything, but you need enough to build clear, simple sentences and understand others.
Right. For example, if you know how to use present simple, past tense, and future plus some useful phrases, you can already have a good conversation.
Yes. Like, what do you do? I went to the store, or I'm going to watch a movie. These kinds of sentences are basic, but very powerful.
And vocabulary doesn't have to be big and fancy. Start with daily life words: food, clothes, feelings, places, and actions.
One of the biggest mistakes I see is when learners try to study advanced English without mastering the basics.
That's true. Without a good foundation, it's like building a house on sand. It won't feel strong, and you'll always feel unsure when speaking.
So if you're a learner out there, ask yourself, do I know the basic tenses? Can I talk about my day, my job, my hobbies? If yes, great. If not, that's the best place to start.
And remember, you can review the basics again and again. Repetition builds strength. Even native speakers use simple English all the time.
That's so true. So don't be afraid to go back and review simple grammar or practice common questions and answers.
Because every strong English speaker started with the same blocks. Confidence grows when you feel comfortable with what you're saying.
Exactly. And now that we understand the importance of a strong foundation, let's talk about how small, daily practice can turn into big results. So, Julia, now that we've talked about building a strong foundation, let's move into one of the most important parts: daily practice.
Yes, a lot of learners ask, how can I improve my English fast? And the answer is simple: practice a little every day.
Exactly. You don't need to study for hours. Even 15 to 20 minutes a day can make a big difference if you do it consistently.
Right. Think of it like watering a plant. If you give it a little water every day, it grows. But if you pour a lot of water once a month, it dies.
That's such a good example. And it's the same with speaking. The more often you practice speaking even short sentences, the more natural it becomes.
And you don't always need a partner. You can talk to yourself in English. For example, I'm making tea, it's a sunny day, I need to go shopping. Simple thoughts become simple practice.
Yes, and you can also record your voice. This helps you hear your mistakes and see your progress over time. It's a great confidence booster.
Also, try shadowing. That means you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say right after them like a shadow.
It's a powerful method. It improves pronunciation, rhythm, and your speaking confidence.
So if our listeners are thinking, I don't have time, we want to say just start small. One sentence a day, one conversation, one step at a time.
Because small steps create big growth. Confidence doesn't come all at once. It builds quietly through daily effort.
And one day you'll realize, wow, I'm speaking without fear. I'm speaking with confidence.
That's the goal. And up next, we'll talk about one of the most effective ways to build speaking confidence: speaking out loud, even when you're alone. All right, Julia, now let's talk about something super simple, but very powerful: speaking out loud.
Yes, many learners don't realize how important it is to say the words, not just read or think them in their head.
That's true. Reading silently is helpful, but it doesn't train your mouth or your muscle memory. Speaking out loud helps your brain and tongue work together.
Exactly. When you speak out loud, your mouth gets used to forming English sounds. The more you do it, the more natural it feels and the faster your confidence grows.
And here's the best part, you don't even need a partner. You can practice anywhere, in your room, in the shower, or while walking alone.
Yes, you can describe what you're doing, like I'm brushing my teeth, I'm opening the window, I'm going to work now. Simple daily sentences.
This is called thinking in English and speaking at the same time. It helps your brain switch more easily into English mode.
Also, don't worry if you make mistakes while talking to yourself. There's no pressure. It's a safe way to build confidence.
Another tip is to read short dialogues or texts out loud. This helps with pronunciation, tone, and rhythm.
Or repeat after English videos, podcasts, or movies. Listen to a sentence, pause, and say it out loud. Try to copy the tone and speed.
Yes, this is shadowing, and it's one of the fastest ways to sound more natural.
So, to all our listeners, don't be shy. Talk to yourself in English. Speak out loud every day, and you'll feel the change very soon.
It might feel strange at first, but over time, you'll become more fluent and much more confident.
And now that we've talked about speaking out loud, let's explore another key tip: how to surround yourself with English every day.
All right, Julia, now that we've talked about speaking out loud, let's talk about something very important, surrounding yourself with English.
Yes! The more English you hear and see every day, the easier it becomes to understand and speak.
Think about it like this. When you live in a country where everyone speaks English, you have no choice but to listen and practice.
That's right. But even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, there are ways to create your own English environment.
For example, you can listen to English music, watch movies or TV shows with English subtitles, or follow English podcasts like this one.
And try to read simple English books, articles, or even social media posts.
Also, change your phone or computer language settings to English. That way, you see English words every day.
And don't forget about practicing with friends or language partners online. Talking to others is the best way to improve.
Yes, the more you fill your daily life with English, the faster your brain gets used to the sounds, vocabulary, and grammar.
It's like training your brain to think in English naturally, so when you speak, it feels easier and more confident.
So remember, surround yourself with English as much as possible at home, on your phone, at work, or anywhere you can.
It might feel challenging at first, but little by little, it will become part of your daily routine.
And now, for a fun part, let's do a role play to show the difference between a nervous speaker and a confident speaker. All right, Julia, it's role play time. Let's show our listeners the difference between a nervous speaker and a confident speaker. I'll play the nervous speaker first.
And I'll be the confident speaker. Ready? Go.
Soft, hesitant voice. Hi, I, want to ask you a question. I don't know if it's okay.
Smile and voice clear. Hi, sure, please ask. I'm happy to help.
I want to know how to speak better English, but I'm scared I might make mistakes.
That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. The important thing is to practice and keep trying.
I feel shy. What if people laugh at me?
Don't worry about that. People respect you for trying. Confidence comes with time and practice.
Okay, I'll try. Thank you.
You're welcome. Remember, speaking confidently is about being brave and keeping going.
Wow, that felt different. When I spoke nervously, I was quiet and slow. But when you spoke confidently, it was clear and positive.
Yes, and you sounded like yourself. Confidence doesn't mean perfect, it means speaking with courage.
That's a great lesson for all of us. Practice, patience, and bravery are the keys.
Exactly. And now that we've seen the difference, let's share some tips for speaking in public or group settings.
All right, Julia. Many learners feel nervous speaking in public or in groups. What are some simple tips we can share?
Good question, Jason. First, remember to prepare. Think about what you want to say before you speak. You don't have to memorize, just know your main ideas.
Yes, preparation helps calm your nerves because you feel ready.
Second, start with small groups or friendly people you trust. Speaking in front of one or two friends is easier than a big crowd.
And don't be afraid to pause while speaking. It's okay to take a moment to think or breathe.
Exactly. Pausing helps you stay calm and speak clearly.
Also, use simple words. You don't need complicated language to get your message across.
And don't forget to smile and use positive body language. That helps you and your listeners feel relaxed.
Finally, practice as much as you can. The more you speak in groups, the easier it becomes.
Remember, everyone starts somewhere. Confidence grows step by step.
Great advice, Julia. Up next, let's talk about why making mistakes is okay and how to learn from them. Julia, one big fear many learners have is making mistakes. Let's talk about why mistakes are actually a good thing.
Absolutely, Jason. Mistakes are proof that you're trying and learning. Without mistakes, it means you're not practicing enough.
Yes, mistakes help you see where you need to improve. They are like a teacher guiding you.
When you make a mistake, don't feel bad or embarrassed. Instead, say to yourself, I'm learning, I'm getting better.
And remember, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. What's important is to keep going.
Exactly. The key is to learn from your mistakes, listen carefully, correct yourself gently, and try again.
Mistakes are a normal and important part of the learning journey. They help build your confidence in the long run.
So, dear listeners, don't be afraid to speak because of mistakes. Speak in spite of them.
Great advice. Next, we'll share some inspiring real-life stories of learners who gained confidence by embracing their mistakes. Julia, I love hearing stories from real learners. Can you share a story about someone who gained confidence in English?
Sure, Jason. I remember a student named Maria. When she started learning English, she was very shy and afraid to speak.
That sounds familiar to many of our listeners.
Exactly. But Maria decided to practice speaking every day, even if it was just talking to herself at home.
Wow, that takes courage.
Yes. After a few months, she joined an English-speaking club online. At first, she made a lot of mistakes and felt nervous.
But she kept going.
Yes, and slowly, she started to speak more clearly and confidently. Now Maria works in a company where she talks with international clients every day.
That's an amazing transformation. It shows how confidence comes with practice and persistence.
Another story is about Ahmed. He used to be afraid of speaking because of his accent.
Many learners feel that way.
Right. But Ahmed embraced his accent and focused on clear communication instead of perfection.
And that mindset helped him a lot.
Yes, he gave presentations and made new friends using English. His confidence grew step by step.
These stories remind us that everyone's journey is different, but progress is always possible.
Absolutely. So to our listeners, believe in yourself and keep practicing. Your confidence will grow too.
Julia, let's give our listeners some practical exercises they can try today to boost their speaking confidence.
Great idea, Jason. One simple exercise is the talk to yourself method. Just describe what you're doing out loud, like, I'm cooking dinner or I'm reading a book.
That's perfect because it's easy, and you can do it anytime, anywhere.
Another exercise is recording your voice. Speak about a simple topic for 1 or 2 minutes, then listen to yourself. This helps you notice areas to improve and track your progress.
And don't forget, shadowing, listen to a short English sentence or phrase, then repeat it immediately, copying the speaker's tone and speed.
Yes, Shadowing helps with pronunciation and speaking rhythm.
Finally, try to find a language partner or join a conversation group online. Speaking with real people builds confidence faster than practicing alone.
Remember, the key is to practice regularly. Even small exercises every day can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Start small, keep practicing, and watch your confidence grow. Julia, before we finish, let's share some motivational advice for our listeners who are working hard to speak English confidently.
Absolutely, Jason. Learning a new language is a journey, and it takes time, patience, and effort.
That's right. Sometimes you might feel stuck or frustrated, and that's completely normal.
But remember, every small step you take moves you closer to your goal. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small.
And don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace.
Yes, be kind to yourself and keep practicing. Confidence grows when you believe in yourself.
And remember, mistakes are part of the process, they don't define you.
Keep your head up and your heart strong. You can do this.
Thank you for joining us today. We believe in you and can't wait to hear your confident English soon. Well, Julia, that's a wrap for today's episode on how to speak English with confidence.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you found some useful tips and feel inspired to practice your English every day.
Remember, confidence is a journey. It takes time, patience, and practice. Keep going, and don't be afraid to speak up.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave a comment to tell us your thoughts.
We'd love to hear your stories about speaking English confidently.
Until next time, keep practicing and stay confident.
Goodbye, everyone.